thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
You were doing the most. Do you feel like that?
Yeah, I do.
You do. And can I just say that when I grow up, I want to be you.
Oh, I love that.
I love watching your TikTok videos.
Oh, thank you.
I love the honesty.
Yeah.
I love the living in your truth and takes us on a journey.
Yeah.
The vintage fashion. I've never seen anyone style a cap and a scarf and look lit. What is going on here?
Do you know what? I just like to take risks with fashion. And I think the older I've gotten, the less I want to do for other people. Do you know what I mean? So I just dress for myself now and I love it.
And if you haven't seen one of these incredible TikToks, take a listen to this.
And so I'm intrigued to know, have you ever just had to pray to God like he was man there? I said, ease up on the pressure, because I said, I didn't sign a permission slip to be here. And look, and on top of this, I said, we're really tussling. I said, listen.
Listen, I am not one of God's strongest warriors either. I'm not.
That has made me cackle. I'm always cackling. Oh, that's so funny.
Your laugh is infectious and you are doing the most because not only are your socials popping off, you are a best-selling author whose book, Cut Both Ways, is right here.
I know. Isaac and Sin on the front cover. It's crazy to see. It's crazy to just have an idea in your head and then see it in other people's hands. That's still a very strange feeling to me, to be honest.
And what inspired this story? Because Sin, I'm loving the black love.
Yeah.
And I'm loving it at such like a young, pivotal age in her life.
What inspired the story? It's definitely the kind of book I wished I was able to read when I was about 14, 15. When I was at school, the most popular book was a book called The Coldest Winter Ever by a woman called Sister Soldier. And I was like, if I ever get the chance, I want to write fiction like that, but from a black British perspective. And so we've got a 16-year-old Cynthia whose brother, Michael, Big Mike, has recently been stabbed to death, unfortunately. So her parents take her away from London, South London specifically, take her to the quote-unquote countryside. She's shoved in a very private, very white, posh school. She's the only black girl. She locks eyes with the only black boy. And the rest should be history, but he's keeping a massive secret that can bust down her whole family. But the themes are very much things that I've experienced or families experienced. So it felt like, do you know what this book is? Cuts Both Ways is a book for the culture. If nothing else, I'm like, the teens of today, I want them to look back on this book and be like, that was a pivotal reading moment in my life.
That is beautiful.
Yeah.
And I love that it's come from a place like, I get it. Me, black British, growing up South London, but also in a very white part of South London, speaking so, only black one in my year. So for me, I was like, Sin, this me? Like, this me or not?
And that's why I wrote it like that, because I want us to see us in her character. And I think so many books or even TV shows today, they still do this racially ambiguous thing or bring in a black girl that doesn't necessarily look. Everything about Sin is unquestionably black. Her heritage, her hair, her issues. I didn't want there to be any confusion. I want little girls who looked like me when I was 14 to be like, wow, I'm the centre of this story. Because we've never really had that moment.
I know, we're never the main character.
We're the funny friends.
Or we go through like a mad thing to get to the end.
Oh,
I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it.
I love the fact you say that, because her best friend Jadelle, I remember like one of my friends being like, cool off on Jadelle now. I'm like, why? Because what's so funny, if the roles were reversed, you'd watch all this drama happen to Cynthia and you'd expect it. What is it about Jadelle that you're like, I'm doing the most to her? What? Is that not how life has pressed me? Now someone else must go for it today.
Do you know what you get? You get one of these.
Yeah.
Not everyone gets a yeah, but it deserves one today. We are going to be hearing all about Candice on the other side of this one. Now, Cuts Both Ways, your book, is out right now. Yeah. And you're on a schools tour.
I know.
You are going into the schools and telling the youth them what they need to know.
And it's really overwhelming because they're looking at me with these very childlike eyes being like, I want to be like you when I grow up. How do I do this? And I'm like, I remember feeling like becoming an author, there was like a big barrier to entry, or it was something I could see but not achieve. And it's filling me with so much pride to go into schools on the other side and look at girls who look exactly like me and tell them, I never lie. I was like, it's not going to be easy, but it is not impossible. you know, so put your head down and follow these steps and you'll get there. And the feedback, like, I've been drawn to tears most of today, actually, because I'm just like, they're the audience that this book is for. Then one girl came up to me today and she was like, I've never read a romance book with Black British characters. Like, all her romance novels come from the US or like US centric. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, like, to be able to give this gift that may actually be the first time someone's really enjoyed fiction outside of having to read for school, or will like develop their mind or make them think creatively. I'm just feeling very blessed right now.
As you should. That's a wicked space to be in. If I had my school book day and I saw you there, I would be buzzing, because all I came home with was a PDA, not one book. But if I had a Black British novel that had someone like me on the cover, and should I say this beautiful illustration, when you open the book up as well, you see the back of them, you see the braids, you see the waves, you see absolutely everything. Not a detail has been missed.
And big up the woman that worked on the cover. We actually found that we went to school together. Like, that was just so random, but we went to school exactly the same year. The school that I even referenced in the book, that's the school we went to at the same time. I said, no, it was meant to be. And it was, because I did not need to direct her at all. I was like, give me St. Martin's. She was like, say less. And she just went off and did it. And I look at them and like, she got them to a T. It's amazing.
If you haven't already, make sure you cop cuts both ways. Love and Never, just black and white. This is not your stereotypical book.
It's not, because of course we've got the love element, but the meat on the bones, unfortunately, is knife crime. It's youth violence. You know, that's the way her brother has been unfortunately taken out of her life. And I'm the mum to a young son. He's about to be 5, and I was born and raised in Brixton, and then we've now moved outside of London. And the marker for us was, I couldn't take the stories anymore. I was like, I know life isn't perfect, but where can I take my son somewhere where this might be less impactful to him? So developing a story like Big Mike's was very personal and very painful, because I know too many people have died that way, or I'm friends with too many women who have lost their sons that way. And I was just like, how can I pull this very harsh reality into fiction? And hopefully, especially for young boys reading it, maybe give him the guts to turn to his parents and be like, I got this issue, or go to school and be like, I got this issue, or actually just put down whatever he's walking with. Do you get what I'm saying? I was like, there has to be purpose in that storyline also.
And the purpose is what drives it.
Yeah. It's the love for her brother. It's the loss. It's also, I think, as a reader, because even when I read it back, this happens to me, it's questioning why we just see a certain type of black boy as wrong or the wrongdoer.
Yes.
I don't go into detail about why Big Mike ended up in his situation, but people have their opinions, and I'm like, that's interesting. Where did you get that from?
Yeah, it must be this, it must be that, it must be the hoodie.
Right, it's not in the book. I never said so. And then they go raw. I was like, and that's what I'm trying to make people do, understand that so many of our connotations and perceptions around young black boys are being fed to us by a biased media who only wants us to see them in one way.
Yeah.
So you have to remember, that's still someone's son, that's still someone's brother, that's someone's partner, and look at it from that way, and really look at knife crime through an eye of empathy, which I know can be really hard to do, especially when it's being sold to you as a their problem, not an us problem.
And it should definitely be an us problem. Yeah. Because unfortunately, when we see some young black youth on the news, it's not the picture of them in the suit.
Ever. And what's so upsetting and frustrating today is so little of those ending up dead were in gangs. It's very much a wrong time, wrong place. Yeah. It's a robbery. It can happen to anyone.
A mistaken identity.
Don't get me started. So to see that, and for people to just, and more to the point now, unfortunately it's happening so much, our newspapers just give us this tiny passport photo. Like sometimes there's not even a name. It's just a 15-year-old stabbed to death, ... little picture, and they've got to make space for the next one because you know another one's coming. So the memories of these lives that were really young and really futile and filled with energy and passion, it's just like this hard full stop. Yeah. Right, next. And I'm like, hopefully a story like this, we look at a character like Big Mike and we start to really see our victims through a lens of empathy. Yeah.
When we will do. Thank you so much for creating a book like this.
No, thank you.
Now, with this book, apart from like your team, who was the first person that you really wanted to read it?
Oh, who was the first person? I think my best friend, because we're very similar in physicality. And so for people that haven't read the book yet, Cynthia is a dark-skinned main character, which I just really struggle to see in life day to day.
Yeah.
So I really wanted my best friend to read it. And then second to it was my husband, because actually he helped me develop the book. Oh. I remember I just submitted my second book, Sister, and I was drinking some wine and I was like, well, I'm done with this writing thing, you know, I'm very exhausted. And he was like, yeah, you always say that. But then imagine if, this boy, that's not even how he talks, but you get the point. And then I was like, say that again. And like, he really helped me flesh this story out. Mm-hmm. So once it was done, I was like, you have to read this. And he's already got ideas for other things, but that's...
Saying sequel, part 2. Because that cliffhanger, listen, me and you, I'm not happy with you.
Do you know what? You got to get to the back of a very long line. When I say people are out for my head, they're like, what? Or people are messaging me and they're like, there's 5 pages left. And I feel like this ain't going to change. And I'm like... Guys, what did you expect?
No, the last 20 pages, I was like, brethren, Candice, what are you doing to me?
But also, because we don't want to give it away, but when we really think about where Cynthia's from and the family it's a rock and a hard place.
Yeah, there's a lot more to that story that I'm going to need to know.
Yeah, okay. I'll have that.
And who is your harshest critic when it comes to your books?
Who is my harshest critic? It could only be me. I've learned very early on in my entire media career, I don't search for reviews. Mm-hmm. I don't go on any website. I don't look at books. I'm just like, miss me with that. Because the reality is, for 10 good ones, you're going to get one bad one. Yeah. And it's that one bad one that's going to plague you the whole time. Mm-hmm. And I never want to end up writing for my naysayers. The reality is, I could come out with the next, I don't know, whatever big book you want, and someone's still going to hate it just because that's what they want to do. Mm-hmm. What my job is to make sure that hate doesn't have access to me. Yeah. So it doesn't distort how I'm writing. So I would say outside of that, it's me. Like, I'm very like, was that the right thing for this character? Have I done this really well? Also, I just come from a background where I never got to see a woman like me living life the way I do. So I'm very much the first one in line. Like, there's no Auntie Candice up there where I can be like, is this the right thing?
Yeah, is this the right?
There's no one there. And so I can be very hard on myself. And sometimes I've got to allow myself to have grace and know that you're the first one, hopefully of so many. Mm-hmm. But right now, you make the blueprint. So even if mistakes are made, who gets to define them as a mistake? No one but you, because you're doing this for the first time. So I'm like, it's okay. Take a load off.
I love that. And when I look at your TikToks about your daughter, and you have to stop yourself, because you often say that I remember that she's not living the life that I was living. The life that she has now.
Listen,
the one that you've helped
with
to
her
provide.
double beds.
Yeah.
With her double beds.
Listen, we was in a bunks.
Listen, with her ensuite bathroom. Why? Sometimes I just have to walk out of there and bite my tongue, because I'm like, in my brain, I'm like, you do not know how good you have it. And then I have to pull myself back. I'm like, and that's not something you need to say to her. Yeah. Because the reality is, the goodness of her life is actually not her business. Mm-hmm. Again, like I said about that prayer about God, she didn't sign a permission slip to be here. Nope. I said, come, we do this. So now I've given her this life. I can't keep almost throwing that back in her face. Yeah. Do you get what I'm saying? There are ways to discipline and have boundaries, but I do have to bite my tongue because our lives are so different.
And you know what? That's also a blessing as well, to be able to provide that for your family. Yeah. Like, my dream is to have a closet like yours one day, and to be able to sit
You'll have it. You will have it.
It's coming. It's coming. I've got this saved on my Instagram, because one shoe is this way and one shoe is this way, and the lights. Listen, I watched the beginning and the intros. You know, I'm like, coffee machine, walk the dog, lights on, shoes ready. I'm there. So this is what I am manifesting. So to see a black woman doing this, and it doesn't feel unattainable in a way that...
And you know what? I love that you've said that, because for so long I held off on showing, especially like the OOTD bit of my life, because I was like, I don't want to get called a show off. All those negative connotations. And then I was like, hold on. If I don't show it, how do other women like me see it? Mm-hmm. And it just lights a fire within. You're like, no, if Candice has done that. And I've been very honest about where I've come from. Mm-hmm. I was raised on some Malayan estate. So like, it's not like it's daddy's money. Not that that's a problem, but it's been very humble beginnings and a slow, steady chart up. And I'm like, you can't just cut your audience off at one of the sweetest parts. No. And I think especially for black women, people get too used to hearing our sob stories.
Yeah.
But then they want to disengage when we're doing well. Like one of my favorite creators, Jackie Aina, I cannot take the hate she gets.
No.
I'm like, you guys want this girl to lose so bad. And it's a deep reflection of how we as black women have so much internal work to do. Because I'm like, she's simply just existing. And existing in what she deems to be a luxurious, easy life. Why is that not something she should enjoy? You know?
100%.
And so now I'm here, I'm like, no, I'll remind you from time to time that, you know, it's not been an easy road up, but also here's the better parts.
Yeah, this is the part we want to skip.
Do you know what I mean? Here's the better parts. Like,
listen, I love that for you, and I love that for future me.
Amen.
Amen. Now we're gonna play a game of this or that.
Okay, bring it on.
I'm gonna give you two options, and you are literally gonna tell me, is it this or is it that?
Okay.
We've got 30 seconds on the clock.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Yeah, go for it.
Love Island or Big Brother?
Big Brother.
Boris Johnson, Liz Truss?
Oh, Boris Johnson!
Outfit of the day or chatty vlog?
Outfit of the day.
McDonald's or KFC?
McDonald's.
Lip gloss, lipstick?
Lipstick.
Theatre, cinema?
Theatre.
BO or bad breath?
BO.
TikTok or Insta?
TikTok.
Cos or Zara?
Cos.
Flowers or polka dots?
Flowers.
Vacation, girls trip?
Vacation.
Rum or gin?
Gin.
Perfume or nails?
Nails.
That was a hard one, isn't it?
I was like, B.O. No, because B.O. you're under here. You can keep your lip.
Yeah, but the breath, like, we're too chatty for bad breath. We talk too much.
Not Boris Johnson or Liz Truss.
I know, that was
I was like, oh, girl. Oh,
it's the worst of two evils.
Oh, my God.
Oh, that is so funny. That's given me an insight, though.
I know, innit?
Yeah, we picked nails and perfume.
I know.
That was a hard one.
I'm just like, oh, it's my nails, man. Because I remember when I took them off when I had no money, and my granddad saw me one day and he was like, what's wrong? I was like, Granddad, I ain't got money for nails. And he went into his little tin and he gave me £20. He was like, I don't care how down you are in this life. He was like, you always get your nails done. I said, won't he do it? And from then, it's stuck in my brain. I'm like, it's always been the nails. It's always been the nails.
Yeah, you know, if the nails ain't done,
something's going on.
Yeah.
It's just my little thing. And also, I don't get to play with my hair. Do you know what I mean? So my nails, I'm like, nah, we're keeping those.
And I was surprised, lip gloss or lipstick.
Oh, always stick. I love a good red. Everyone knows I love a good red lipstick. Gloss has its time, but with me, the E in the lipstick.
We don't find the lipstick on the teeth and all that as long.
No, I'm all right. You know, I just give it a little.
We keep it moving. Oh, listen, do you want to hear some honourable mentions that we had?
Yeah.
Bounty or Maltesers? We didn't get that one.
Maltesers.
Getting the ick or second-hand embarrassment?
Second-hand embarrassment, because the ick is personal.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? So
yeah.
For you to get the ick, that's a very personal thing. So second-hand embarrassment.
NYC or Barbados?
NYC, sorry, Bim. You know I love you, like, but my heart is set on my 6-bed brownstone.
In NYC.
So
I'm trying to
focus.
I'm
trying to focus.
Home workouts or gym? I know you got your treadmill.
Home workouts, yeah.
Back to 15 or fast forward to 65?
65.
Oh,
I ain't going back there. Not for love nor money. You lot ain't dragging me back there.
So you get that uniform on.
And you know what? In a weird way, I'm dying to go grey. My husband has started to have greys come through. And I'm dying to have an ice grey trim. Yeah. So let's go to 65.
That is going to be so
Do you know
cold.
what I mean? I'm like,
listen, that OOTD with the ice trim. Different level. Thank you so much for joining me today. I've had so much fun.
Thank you. This has been amazing. Thank you so much.
Can you give us a hint into what is next?
Oh.
Because I know it's your birthday coming up.
Yeah, girl, I'm going to be 33. So I'm going to have a party. I'm definitely going to have a party. And I'm not a party person, but I've made a decision to celebrate more this year.
Amen.
I'm like, I can't keep looking back and it's just work. Actually celebrate. Like, invite people into a space, have a celebration. I'm definitely going to start tippy-tapping on a computer, I think. I might write something down.
Well, I said we need another ending.
Listen. What's so funny is I can see my editor looking at you. And I'm just like,
Should I be looking this way? I'm looking at you too.
I'm like, might start doing that. And you know what? Hopefully I've got a new podcast with Coco Sorrell.
Love her, my Love Island connoisseur.
Oh my God. And Closet Confessions just brings us so much joy. So hopefully we can grow that this year as well.
Listen, so many incredible things to keep an eye out for. Can you drop your socials so we can keep up to date with everything that you're doing?
It's at Candice Brathwaite on everything. You'll find me there.
Make sure you are following and supporting. You are not going to miss out. If you enjoyed just a second of today's interview, imagine what she's like on a daily basis.
Oh my gosh, you're putting me to shame.
And just before you go, I'm going to give you the presenter power on the show.
Yeah.
You have picked a track that you're going to introduce.
Yeah. The track that I've picked is by an artist called Nux. It's called Home. I've picked it because if there was a soundtrack for Cuts Both Ways, it's definitely this song.
Okay.
And to me, like, to watch Nux go from strength to strength in his career, I feel like a kind of proud mum, and I don't know him from anywhere, but I just love his style, and I think he's just got a London-centric sound that's undeniable.